When we think about creation stories, they almost always start with a really clear, confident answer, right? But what if a story about the beginning of everything started with a question? Today, we're going to explore a cosmology that does exactly that. We're diving into the deep wisdom that's found in just admitting what we don't know. So listen to this. These words, they're from one of the oldest philosophical poems in the world, the Nasadiya Sukta from the Rigveda. And what's amazing is, they don't tell us what happened. They ask. This isn't just a simple story, it's a really ancient inquiry into the very nature of what it means to exist, and it totally sets the stage for a different way of seeing everything. And that right there is what makes this whole thing so fascinating. Instead of kicking things off with certainty, it begins with humility. It's an approach of incredible intellectual honesty. And understanding why that's so powerful, well, that's the journey we're on right now. Okay, so before we can even begin to talk about creation, we have to get our heads around the fundamental substance of reality in Hindu thought. See, the focus here is less about who made the universe and much more about what the universe is made of. And that what is called Brahman. Now, it is absolutely crucial to get this next part. Brahman is not a person like God up in the sky. Think of it more like the operating system of the universe, the very fabric of reality, the source from which everything, and I mean everything, emerges. So this is where this huge abstract idea of Brahman gets really personal. The ancient texts, the Upanishads, they describe it with these three qualities. Sat, which is just pure being, Chit, which is pure consciousness, and Ananda, which is pure bliss. This isn't just some far-off cosmic stuff, right? This is the essence of what you and I experience at our deepest, most fundamental level. And that leads to one of the most mind-blowing ideas in all of philosophy. If Brahman is this vast cosmic ocean, then the individual self, what's called the Atman, is like a single drop of that ocean. And here's the kicker. The drop isn't separate from the ocean. The drop is the ocean. It means that at the deepest level of your being, you are not just in the universe, you are the universe. Right, so you might be thinking, okay, if everything is just this one thing, Brahman, then why isn't it all just static? How does anything happen? Well, this cosmology doesn't see the universe as something that was made just once. It sees it as a dynamic, ongoing process, a great cosmic dance. Yeah, so just throw out that whole idea of a cosmic clockmaker, someone who builds a machine and then just walks away. In this view, the universe is alive, it's breathing, it's pulsating with energy, constantly, always becoming. And this sets the stage for the forces that drive that whole process. And this living process is often represented by three amazing forces: Brahma, the force of creation; Vishnu, the force that sustains and preserves everything; and Shiva, the force of dissolution and transformation. But here's the key. They aren't three separate competing gods. Nope. They're just three different faces of one single unified divine activity. Creation, preservation, and then boom, dissolution, just to start all over again. It's an endless rhythm. Okay, so we have this great cosmic dance, but it's not exactly a quick waltz. To really get this worldview, we have to stretch our minds around a concept of time that is, well, it's pretty much impossible to imagine. So, how old is the universe, right? We're always asking for that one starting point. Modern science tells us it's about 13.8 billion years ago. But in this way of thinking, asking for a single beginning is like asking, hey, where does a circle start? It's just, you're asking the wrong question. All right, look at this number, 4.32 billion. Just let that sit there for a second. 4.32 billion years. And what is that? That's the length of a single day in one of these cosmic cycles, a cycle called a kalpa. So our whole universe, all 13.8 billion years of it, that's just a little piece of one of these cosmic days. It's just one breath in an endless, infinite cycle. Okay, so we've talked about the what. That's Brahman. We've talked about the how, this endless cosmic dance. And we've talked about the when, these unimaginable cycles of time. But that leaves the biggest, most human question of all, doesn't it? Why? Why bother with any of it? And the answer is just beautiful. It's a concept called Leela. And Leela means divine play. The idea is that the universe wasn't created out of some cosmic loneliness or because something was broken and needed fixing. It happened for the fun of it, as a spontaneous, joyful overflow of pure being.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Creation isn't a job to be done, it's an art form. It's an overflow of joy for its own sake. So think about that. This totally reframes our own existence, right? It's not some grim test we all have to pass. It's a dance, and we're all invited to join in. And this beautiful idea of play brings us right back to where we started, all the way back to that ancient, incredibly honest question from the Nasadiya Sukta. Now that we've gone through all this, let's hear its conclusion one more time. Perhaps he knows not. Wow, after all that deep, poetic thinking, it ends on that. A profound, almost shocking admission of uncertainty. Even the ultimate source, the cosmic overseer, maybe even he doesn't know for sure. And that is the core wisdom here. This isn't some kind of cop-out. It's not a failure to give us the answer we want. It is intellectual honesty of the highest order. It's the wisdom to say, the mystery is bigger than my ability to explain it. So I want to leave you with this to chew on. In our world today, a world that just demands easy answers and absolute certainty, what's the real value of a worldview that has the courage to stand up and say, who really knows? Does that profound humility make it less compelling? Or does it, in fact, make it a whole lot more trustworthy?